position in October of 2023. At first, it was kind of challenging. It was my first year of being a chief of police. I have been, I've taken several roles in law enforcement, but never that type of like administrative high, role. It was great. I had this community in Geary, Oklahoma was an amazing community. They were very accepting of me. It was challenging because there was some adversities, there was some difficulties from prior. I won't go into that detail, but I think that they accepted me and my department very well. They were great. Like the citizens were amazing. The reason, that prompted the entire resignation was it was just a continued failure from the mayor to make change that would affect the department and make it more effective for the community and also the community as a whole. It was just an ongoing issue. He consistently refused to keep his word to us, and that was something that we held him to. When you were a mayor, you were to lead the city and what's best for the city and the departments within, right? So, there was budget cuts, and I'm aware that there's budget cuts throughout the world with police departments, and that wasn't the issue. I was okay with that. I saw it as a challenge, and I was like, challenge accepted. We can go with a budget cut. We just have to maybe cut corners within, and that was okay. And, it meant, not raises for the officers, and they were okay with that too, because they were willing to do their job, and that is to serve. I'm not complaining in any means about it. And I understand, we had a jail. They cut the jail. They cut our dispatch. And that put strain on us. But we found we went to another agency, and they have done excellent in accommodating us with that dispatch. So like I was saying, he consistently refused to keep his word when it came to basic needs of equipment and the safety issues within our department. We talked about the budget cuts that caused for hardships for these officers and myself that were unnecessary. Like I said, I'm not complaining about the budget. I understand it happens to every department in every place. What my issue was, it was absolutely unnecessarily making it harder for these officers to work these long hours. We were fully staffed with 6. And because of some other issues within the department that we won't talk about right now, we were losing 2 officers, which would make us 4. Myself was placed on admin only, to where I was strictly inside the office doing administrative chief work. So I really couldn't go out and patrol and cover these shifts. And then we have another officer who's strictly at the school. So that would leave 2 officers to do basically 24 hours, 5 to 7 days a week. That's not realistic. It's doable, but honestly, who wants to do that for extremely low pay? They did it. And honestly, I don't ever really remember these 2 officers, complaining about it. The SRO, he would fill in when he could, and I would do what I can. But, it came with these unrealistic expectations, and these issues were addressed by myself and several other officers with the mayor, and he made no change for it. So then we began to reach out to our council members who would tell me that, so we had asked for a special meeting to address these issues, and that every turn they were being denied this special meeting. What I have gathered and what I can give as facts. So the facts are that, so the city of Geary runs on aldermanic government, which means the mayor is weak and the council is strong. So when I had reached out and I started talking with the council members, they were asking, I don't know if they just didn't really know. I'm not saying that they didn't know their spot, because I don't know what they do, but they kept relying on the mayor. The mayor made himself mayor strong. So when they would ask for these meetings, they were denied, and then that was it. Like the special meeting, because we advised them in plenty of time to get these situations. Like the beginning of October, we said, hey, these are some issues, and you're going to lose your department if these aren't met. And so when I had met personally with the mayor of the city of Geary, he said, okay, we'll look into it. And then that was it. And I said, I don't think you understand. This type of stress is hard for people, and we're going to lose the department if something isn't done. Can we have a special meeting? And he said, you don't need a special meeting. Look into finding a reserve. Okay. So we did that. And then I talked with the officers, and they were like, what is a reserve? Who reserve can only work a certain amount of time. Yes, it would help. It would give days off and stuff. But he just kept denying it. And then he denied it to the council. So when we left, it wasn't like they didn't know. they were aware. We just gave a timeline, and then we followed through with our timeline. So before we did put in our resignation letters, I went and I spoke with the Blaine County Sheriff, Travis Doherty, to ensure that when we did, and if we were not, if anything was to happen like it did, that the city would still have law enforcement. And so Sheriff Doherty was more than graciously, he was amazing. And he said, yes, of course, we'll do whatever we can to make sure, because we were worried about the citizens. Like, that was the biggest thing. It wasn't really even losing our jobs. It was these relationships that we had built within the city, with the school and the business owners and the gentlemen at the bank and the women at the bank. It was this time that, we cared for this community. So I wanted to make sure, and as well as the officers, that they were still taken care of. And Sheriff Doherty did amazing with that. He stepped right up. I had a conversation with one of the council members that had resigned, and he said, we had a good, long conversation about it. And I think that there is change, and I think that there's positive change for Geary. And I think that it is something that is going to happen. Yes. My next step, so I had taken a job with the sheriff's office, Blaine County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Doherty gave me a job as an investigator, so I'm going to do that for right now.